Yo, what's happening, my friend? Welcome to this video. We're going to be discussing the 3 keys to manifesting more consistently. So if you're into that, make sure to stick around all the way to the end of this video. We're going to be discussing exactly what manifestation is. We're going to go over these three secrets known as the 5-second rule, utilizing neuroscience, and lottery belief. And then we'll also be going into how to actually amplify this with AI. Okay, it's a really, really powerful tool on how to utilize this and amplify everything, make it quicker, make it more consistent, more predictable. So again, make sure to stick around all the way to the end of this video. And if you're interested in learning more about this stuff, we're constantly coming out with new content here on this YouTube channel. So make sure and subscribe, hit that bell notification, tell your friends. But yeah, let's dive in. I'm really passionate about this manifestation stuff, and I wanted to show you something real quick. I made a post on my Instagram last week, and it was about manifestation, but I did something in this particular video where I explained what manifestation really is, and it got significantly more engagement, got a lot of comments, got significantly more likes and views than anything else that I've posted in a little bit. So I figured I'd make a full YouTube video about what this really is and break it down, because a lot of people think that manifestation is this ethereal, ambiguous thing that just happens out of nowhere, but it doesn't. It's not. Okay, and I'm going to explain it on this video exactly what that is. Okay, so let's dive in. What is manifestation? Okay, it's nothing more than a creation process. And I always like to break this down kind of like a plant, a seed, a plant or a tree or whatever you want to call it. Okay, trees are plants, right? So what happens, let's talk about a tree. How does a tree actually become a tree? Does it just like all of a sudden just become a tree out of nowhere? No, of course not. It's a creation process. Okay, I want you to really let that sink in. It's a creation process, and manifestation is nothing more than a creation process. What happens in a creation process? Well, we have the ground right here. We have a bunch of dirt, right? That's awesome. Now what happens is we plant a seed in that dirt, right? We plant that seed, and then we pile more dirt on top of that seed. And then what do we do from there? Well, we nurture that seed. We give it sunlight, we give it water, and we just nurture that seed. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff that we probably have no idea about, maybe people do, I don't know what it's all about, but I think it like breaks up and it starts on doing all these different things. And then all of a sudden, the more we continue to nurture this guy, all of a sudden it sprouts. And then it continues to grow, and then it turns into this beautiful big tree, depending on whatever type of tree that is. Now, the key determinant here is the nurturing for sure, but it's also the seed. Like, what seed do we put in the ground? If we put in a seed for weeds, then that's the type of tree that we're going to get. If we put a seed in for a bush, that's the type of tree we're going to get. That's the type of plant that we're going to get. If we put it in for a redwood tree, then it's going to be a redwood tree. It all starts with the seed. And then from there, it's just all about nurturing it. Okay? And then eventually it comes to be true. All right? So that's the key. Okay? It is a creation process, and manifestation is nothing different. So let's talk about how we actually apply this to manifestation in your life. Okay? So point number 1 is the 5-second rule, which is also known as intentional on what you want. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to continue to draw this all out and show you like how this relates to the example that I just gave. So what is this step 1 in the 5-second rule, which I'll get into here in a second? Well, this is really planting the seed. Okay, we're planting the seed in the ground, and then we move on to the next steps. But this is important. Just like we've talked about, if you want weeds, then put weed seed in the ground. If you want a redwood tree, put a redwood tree seed in the ground. If you want a bush, put a bush seed in the ground, right? Whatever you want, you got to put it in the ground. You got to put that seed in the ground. So you have to be very intentional on what you want. And here's the thing. Why we call it this 5-second rule. If I ask you, I want you to just do this right now and see how you do with this. Okay, this is a little test. But I'm going to ask you right now, what do you want? Were you able to answer that? How quickly were you able to answer that? Now, I want you to be cognizant of this, is that if it took you more than 5 seconds to start your response, you don't have the right seed. Like, you're basically planting a redwood tree, a bush, as well as a weed, because you're just like giving it convoluted it's like a convoluted seed where it's like, hey, you kind of want this. It's like half a redwood seed, it's half a weed seed, it's half a bush seed. And because of that, no matter how much more nurturing that you're going to do, it's going to like become, even if it pops out of the ground, it's going to become this deformed plant, right? So it's really important to know what you want and be very clear on that. And when you are very clear, you can just spit that out right away. When someone asks you what you want, you're like, I want a $100,000 a month business. We want to be generating 10 new clients every single month because we charge this amount of money. This is how we do our marketing, and this is how, we pull everything in. And this, I want this relationship. I know that she is going to have, she's a brunette, she's tall, she's maybe she's like 5'10", and she's very athletic, and she's positive and outgoing. And like, you just see how like that is very clear. Even as I'm explaining that, you can probably picture that. You can probably see that. And the more clear on what you want, and the more consistent, and the more quick that you can answer that question, the more clear the seed is. The more that you're saying, I want the redwood tree, and you're just like, that's it. I don't want anything else. I want the redwood seed. I want the redwood tree and that's the plant. That's the seed that I'm putting in. Okay. So be very, very, very clear on what you want and be able to spit it out very quickly. Okay. So that's point number one. Let's dive into point number two. So point number two is to raise your self-esteem and experience true gratitude. And we're doing this by utilizing neuroscience. So here, another way to kind of explain this is kind of like removing the subconscious blocks, that is something that we talk a lot about. We even talked about that on another video on this YouTube channel. I'll link it down in the description if you want to check that out, or there might be a button in the top right corner you can check out as well. But it's all about raising your self-esteem, because a lot of times our subconscious blocks, they're emotions, okay? And a lot of these emotions are guilt and shame, and not experiencing like true love and gratitude. And I know this may sound kind of like out there, but if you look at it, there's the thing called the scale of consciousness, and it talks about the frequencies of all the emotions. And if you're stuck in grief, if you're stuck in apathy, if you're stuck in shame and guilt, all those are very low vibrations. And the thing with manifestation is you want to be raising your vibration. And if your vibration is up here, you're going to start attracting all these other amazing things that have higher vibrations. If you're down here, you're going to attract all those other things. That's kind of what's keeping you stuck in that cycle if you're not manifesting more as consistently and predictably as you want. Okay? So make sure you raise your self-esteem and you experience true gratitude based on neuroscience. Because a lot of people will say like, oh yeah, I wrote my gratitude down and I did this, but that's not always the best gratitude practice based on neuroscience. They've done a lot of studies on this, and some of the best gratitude practices are actually speaking gratitude to other people and hearing gratitude from other people. And we'll show you, and this is kind of where our AI tool comes into place. So I'll explain that here in a second. But one of the other really great things that you can do is you can remind yourself of all the amazing things that you've done, even if they're little things, even if they're just like, I held the door open for this lady and she smiled and it made her day. Whatever it is, like put in everything from anything small to anything big. Remind yourself of all the amazing things that you did and all the things that you are. Like really remind yourself of how amazing you are. And if that's tough, I totally get it. But do your best at just trying to like find all the little things. And then on top of that, one of the best things that you could do is write forgiveness letters to yourself, okay? Because a lot of times we're holding on to things that aren't serving us. So it's important to remind yourself of how great you are, but also just have grace for yourself. I personally am very hard on myself. I'm always working through that, navigating to get better at that. But something I've recently been doing is just like really just becoming my best friend and writing gratitude to myself, writing forgiveness letters. I forgive you for, not hitting the game-winning home run and, helping our team win the championship. I forgive you for, botching that relationship. I forgive you for that. Like I was always doing my best. So when you write those things down, you like release those thorns out of your side, and you release those anchors that are holding you down. And that's really, really, really important, because it's almost like this part of the process is if you don't have this in line and you're not really kind to yourself and you're not experiencing that true gratitude, that's kind of like you're not nurturing yourself, but you're also like, it's kind of like now all of a sudden this dirt isn't that fertile, right? So you have to fertilize the dirt by raising your self-esteem, experiencing true gratitude. And this is even more of a complex topic, which, again, we talk a lot more on this YouTube channel about, but those are a few really quick things that you can do is write gratitude letters to yourself and write forgiveness letters to yourself, but also constantly be reminding yourself about how amazing you are, whether that's little things, whether that's big things, and then true experiencing of gratitude, sharing it with other people, right? Record them a voice note, have them record voice notes back to you. Those are all things that kind of fertilize your dirt and get you to really nurture yourself. Okay, so that's a big one. Now, last one is lottery belief. Feel the feeling of already having it. Okay, and why we call it lottery belief, I want you to imagine this real quick. Think about it as if you all of a sudden won the lottery. Okay, you won the lottery. It was $10 million, and you go into the office and you say, "Hey, here's my winning ticket," and they say, "Awesome, great. We're gonna mail you the check in a month. 30 days from now, you're gonna have $10 million check sent directly to your home." Okay, I want you to think about how you would operate, how you would feel. Right? You have 100% certainty. They said they are mailing the check. Right? They're mailing the check, and all you got to do is wait 30 days. Like, how would you operate? Would you be like, "Oh my gosh, is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming?" You're like, "No, it's certain. It's coming." Right? It's coming into my life. I'm going to be able to do this. And you're probably like planning all these things out. Maybe planning some trips. Maybe you're planning how you want to spend it. You want to talk to a tax guy, all these things. And you're like, "I know it's coming." Right? Because you have this feeling, you have this belief. And that's the key to manifesting. Okay? And this is, again, coming back to like the nurturing process. The sunlight, the water, you're nurturing it. It's the feeling. Because here's the thing, is that we are always manifesting what we are feeling. We're attracting more of what we're feeling. If you're feeling gratitude, you're going to be experiencing more things to be grateful for. If you're experiencing lack and fear, you're going to attract more of those emotions and more things to feel those emotions. So that's always what we're after at the end of the day anyways. It's like we want the car because it's going to give us that feeling of security. We want the house because it's going to give us the feeling of, whatever the feeling is, right? A lot of times it's, the validation from others, right? But it's, it's really always going after the feeling. So you can choose what feeling you want to experience right now, okay? Choose to experience love, gratitude, peace, okay? And again, you want to operate as if you are attracting everything in, and it's all coming in no matter what, just like the lottery belief. Okay, so those are the three things to manifest more consistently. You do all these more consistently, you're going to experiencing exactly what you want to manifest. It all starts with being very intentional, knowing exactly what you want, using the 5-second rule, then utilizing neuroscience to raise your self-esteem and experience true gratitude by doing those exercises that I talked about, and then feeling the feelings that you already have it. And that's why it's really powerful to visualize these things, see it in your mind, because our brain cannot differentiate what is real and what is vividly imagined. Okay, and that kind of comes in right here with our AI tool. So our AI tool, what they're called vision videos. And I actually made another video. It's a 35-minute video. There's a link down in the description. There's also should be a button popping up in the right corner. It'll take you through the exact process and how we build these out and how amazing they are, how they basically encompass everything within what I just shared with you and why they're so powerful, because they help you be more consistent with this stuff. And they help you visualize more and just really experience all this stuff. It has built-in self-esteem components of it. It has built-in gratitude components of it. It helps you, like the creation of these videos, they help you become very intentional on what you want, and then they also help you feel like you already have it. Okay, it's really, really powerful, and it's our really cool AI feature to like really help you be more consistent with all this, because a lot of times we can have challenges being consistent with all this, which then means we're going to have challenges being consistent with this. It's just like if you were to plant the seed and then all of a sudden you keep digging up the seed wondering where the tree is, that wouldn't work, right? But it also wouldn't work if you put the seed in and then you watered it for 5 days and then you're like, I don't really want to, I'm not sure if it's going to grow, like I'm not going to water it, I'm not going to give it sunlight, and then all of a sudden like it just halts the process. You have to be very consistent at this whole entire process if you want your tree to sprout. And so it's about being consistent, and that's why our vision videos are really powerful, because it helps you be more consistent with this whole entire process. Okay, so that's really the video, guys. Appreciate you watching. Go check out that video on the vision videos, and then if you guys do have any questions, just send me back a message on Instagram or however you know me. We do have a whole program that basically kind of helps you do all this. So if you are interested in that, just book a call down below, or just again shoot me a message back on Instagram and I can tell you more about it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching this video. Truly appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you on the next one.